Michael here, and unfortunately I don't actually have a new episode of Talking Element for you this week because I have gotten married and am on my. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to do a short episode that we are calling the cutting room floor, and this is where we are going to put in some bloopers, some outtakes, some behind the scenes stuff that you normally may not care about, as well as some segments that we thought were good, but just didn't have either fit with the episode at hand or for length were cut. So welcome to Element Cutting Room Floor. So I gotta look because I'm on.
You're in the shot.
Yes, I'm not usually on the.
Yeah, bring your head to the left, like inside the actor's studio, and really lock eye contact on it.
But I remember you gave me advice one time. I was talking to my aunt. I was talking about my aunt and this wedding that she was having, and I was like, I just don't know what to do. And it's like, you can't hold someone who doesn't believe to the same standards that Christ is holding you to, because they just don't know. And I feel like that was at that point, like that clicked in my head, and I'm like, I can't hold them to that standard of, why are you trying to fill something? Well, they don't know that they're missing anything.
So you type faster than you write.
I type a lot faster than I write.
I would too.
Yes.
I'm always off. Back. Fix that. Go.
I think that's going to stick with me. Acceptance greater than our biggest rejection. It's a very.
I think that was actually a line by John Ortberg, but I can't remember. I couldn't find it. But I think that was something he said. It could be Lewis Smedes. I don't know. But I was.
Somebody said it.
It's just all these things that I've had, like in this folder I've been trying to go through, and so, it's great, so it's not me, right? When it's really good, it's not me. When it's bad, it's me. So.
Well, that's good as long as we tie it back to God.
Yeah.
As the bigger or the greater acceptance.
Right. Right.
Not some secular.
Wow, that's a lot of process-oriented stuff there. It's like, I'm going to pray, dear Jesus, return. So I guess it's not like me where I'm praying and I'm like, dear Lord, walnuts. Why walnuts?
I have those prayers too.
So he sounds like an old smoker.
Oh my gosh.
Don't do names. Jenna, my daughter is a chain smoker.
It's terrible.
I think it's important too to understand when we talk about gospel community discipleship, people I think just have this idea of discipleship is, we're all opening our Bibles and looking through these things, which it can be, but really it's that day by day walk. It's, well, how would you do that differently if you thought about it? You did this thing and this person reacted like that. Well, how could you have reacted differently? Or, I would have handled it like this, or I would have said this kind of thing. Not that what you said, but it's just that way of helping people one another, I think, to see the importance of following Christ in every moment and start to think about those ways. It's so important, I think, in gospel community when we do that. It's because it's not about all the things we can know. It's about, I think, living out the intentionality of the gospel in what we do.
Apart from Christ, what do you run to that you feel makes you acceptable or presentable outside of Christ? Now it doesn't, but what, like in your sin nature, what things do you do? So
for me, the things that I'll do is I'm busy a lot. I find a lot of things to do. I will help people do a lot of things. I think I can make people laugh pretty readily, and so I will use that a lot just to kind of make myself presentable. And sometimes I will even use my wife, because people, my wife is very, black and white. It's this or it's this. But yet she also conveys a lot of respect to people because she is like that, because she has such a strong sense of, her ethics and so sometimes it'll be like, I don't know, have you met my wife? And I'll use her. sometimes.
Well, it was actually really funny. So as you were
think about
talking, I was actually going to share about, okay, I do use a lot of humor to find acceptance, you know. I mean, I am naturally really funny, but I find...
And modest.
and very modest, not prideful whatsoever, no. But I do tend to find that if I'm nervous about a situation, I will kind of be over the top funny, or even over the top, like, almost in a way like making myself look worse than I am. Because then...
Wow, are we the same person?
Oh God.
we have
I do
very
that.
similar personalities.
I do that. I will allow...
I need to go to some therapy right now.
I let people mock and make fun of me if it makes them feel better, and yeah.
Well, for me, I don't care if they do.
Well, yeah,
Like,
but
fine.
I'm pretty good. But it eventually will get to me after a while. Then I
Yeah.
reset. Then I'm okay. But
yeah.
Day 4 vacation.
day 7, it's usually day 7.
Element is unedited and unrehearsed.
Oh, never said unedited. You kept wanting me to. I never said unedited.
Really? You were going to do it unedited?
No way.
Oh.